it actually sunk in that I was responsible for everything that was going on in my life. I want to remind you that you can design your lifestyle. There is a difference between thriving and surviving in life. And most people go through their entire lives just surviving. Just barely getting by. Just barely making it. Just barely making ends meet. Funny story. I actually thought ends meet used to mean you were so poor you could only afford to buy the ends of the meat. It's that awkward moment when you realize that you're way behind the ball. And you have a beautiful partner who's absolutely willing and determined to remind you that you are, like I do. Aaron looked at me and said, "Huh, really?" "Oh, yes, you did." God, I can remember a time that I was in a network marketing company and we sold coins. And this was when I first got in. I was in this company actually a couple of times. It was when I very first came online, okay? And I can remember that it got so bad, and Aaron reminded me of this story the other night, that it got so bad that I had to take those coins that I was getting on auto ship every month and take them to the pawn shop to pay the rent. That was not that long ago. It was not that long ago. My message to you this afternoon is that I have been where you are sitting, and it was not that long ago. It was long enough for me to remember how it feels, what it looks like. I remember driving to the pawn shop. I remember the shame that I felt when I looked at Erin and she told me, "Well, you better do something." And I'm telling you something, guys, that if I can do it, a guy who's a 9th grade dropout, a guy who had a severe drug addiction that I almost did not overcome, a guy who ripped and run for almost 10 years, a guy that nobody believed in except a couple of people in my family who believed in me until I could believe in myself. A guy who got into this business and failed miserably to the point to where I took my first product from the first company that I was ever in and went and took it to the pawn shop to be able to pay the rent. And now today, only a few years later, standing in front of you with a message of hope and inspiration that you can do this, regardless of what you're saying to yourself right now. You can do this. You can make this happen. And there's a million stories that you've heard over this last weekend of people who were in similar or worse situations than I was, who have overcome their situation to be standing on stage to be inspiring you. And my friends, I'm going to tell you something. If nobody's told you that they believe in you, I'm telling you right now, I believe in you. I believe you can, will, should, absolutely need to be on stage in Miami. I believe that your time is now. I believe that the time for you to stop making excuses, I believe that the time for you to raise up and put your big girl panties on, your big boy boxers on, is right now. I believe that the time for you to stand up and take responsibility for your income is right now. I believe that the time for you to stand up and take responsibility for your family is right now. I believe that the time for you to stand up and take responsibility for your future is right now. I believe that the time to do what you've always wanted to do in your life, but maybe just haven't had people around you who have been really pushing you and challenging you to do it, is right now. I believe right now is your time.